All right, welcome everybody to chapter one of You Were Born Rich, Me and Money. So, this is our first chapter in the restudy of the book, and I want to commend you all for showing up for you because that is what personal development is. It's showing up for yourself because I can't show up for anybody but me. I can show up and try and help you, but you can't get that help if you don't come here. And one of the things that I reminded my mastery students earlier today in our little sound bite was if you don't ask me, I can't help you. I can't answer the question. I can't give you the thing. I can't give you the tool or show you how to solve the problem. I can't even mastermind with you if I don't know what the question is. So I think not only is showing up so important, but actively showing up is vitally important if you're going to get anything out of any of this. Because April is the month of study inside of Magnet Mind. And we've all talked about the fact that we can read all we want, we can gather all the information, but until and unless we decide to make it a thing, a priority in our life to change or to do something different, we won't. It's just the way it is. The standard operating procedures are going to take over and we're going to get the same results day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out. And it goes on forever. So it starts with a decision, as Sarah Fernandez knows, she's writing all about that. And then we commit to that decision. It's not a decision that we make today and then not tomorrow. We make the decision today, and then we make the decision tomorrow, and then we make the decision the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And um, in the really great essay, The Common Denominator of Success, it says that you have to make that decision every single day, and then until one day you wake up and you don't have to make the decision anymore. It's just part of who you are. But as human beings, we have to get over that hurdle. We have to we have to bridge that gap by making that conscious decision every day until our subconscious mind picks up what we're putting down and says, "Oh, this is who you are now." Okay, now I can help you. Now I can do that. I can take over. And then we pick a new one. And and we just keep going and we keep growing. So pat yourself on the shoulder, say, good job, me, for showing up today. And I am making this only a part of Born Rich Foundations and above. So in the future, if it's not just a free, it's free inside of Born Rich Foundations if you use the gratitude gift. But I want people to show up for themselves. And I think the first hurdle is to say, yep, sign me up so you can participate in these live calls because this is where the magic happens, everybody. It's a mastermind. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to recite the mastermind principles. All right, let's see. Sarah Walters, do you want to start us off after you unmute?
Sure. Mastermind principles. I begin every mastermind meeting by reading these mastermind principles. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. Jim.
I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. Ryan.
I understand. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. This one has to be Sarah Fernandez.
I decide. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I am open to accepting new possibilities. Pat.
I forgive. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past so that I can move into the future of a clean slate. And the other, Sarah Walters.
I ask, I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires, and I hear my mastermind partners supporting me in my fulfillment. Mary.
I accept. I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful knowing this is so. LA, do you want to take us home?
Dedication and covenant. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. I dedicate myself to be the maximum service to God and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy.
Fabulous. If Donna were here, she'd be clapping. Okay. Oh, see, Pat and Ryan clapping. Okay. So I want to go around the room and I just want to ask everybody, why do you show up to this? Why do you come every week? What is it about this that you're looking to get out of it? Is that where I have to end? So what do you want to get out of this? And what do you get out of this from showing up? Who wants to go first? Okay, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I I want to get growth. It's all about continuing to grow and expand. And no matter how many times we go through this and how many times I've read each of the chapters in this book, I always learn something new. And I especially love learning with wonderful mastermind people like you guys here. Because no matter, sometimes, people will be like, why do you read the same book over and over again? Bob would say that about Think and Grow Rich. And I wanted to, no, yeah, I wanted to, kind of be an example of someone who is not perfect, but continues to grow and expand by repetition, by diving into this material. And yeah, so bottom line, growth.
Good. I love it. Who's next? Sarah Walters.
Kind of what Ryan said about learning something different every time we go through it. And just like the conversations, I get something different out of it every time we go through it, even though it's the same material. Someone says something different and it's like, oh, and
Yeah.
I just feel really good afterwards just because of
Because
everyone.
how can you not?
I know, I love our community.
That's right. Who's next?
I
Go
can
ahead,
go.
Pat.
I like the camaraderie of this group and how we support each other. But I've also had that book on my shelf for a couple of years now and had not read it.
Uh-huh.
So I think going through it again, like Ryan said, you pick up other things that you didn't notice the first time through.
Mhm.
So I like that.
Good. Thank you. Who's next? Go ahead, Sarah Fernandez.
For me, it's about surrounding myself with people that have a growth mindset, people that want something different, even if they don't really know what it can be or what it is, but they know there's something else. I think it's important because we don't always find this kind of minded people in this way in our everyday life. Not even maybe in our families, it can be hard. And so I think it's a great space. That's why I keep showing up. I need the goodness that I get.
Right. And we need you.
Mhm.
Awesome. LA or Jim? Pick one.
I'll go
Okay.
a lot with everybody else has said, but to add on to it, I'm kind of like Pat. I had the book for a few years and I've never read it. It's always an intention, but actually reading and learning from it. Even, I had to be honest. I haven't really read it, even though we've been going through it. because the way it comes up, it's like it kind of catches me off guard. But doing the study challenge is making me read it, and then I want to go back and do the workbook so I can make sure I understand it and ingrain it. And hopefully next week I'll be caught up enough where I can communicate and dialogue with Mary about it the way I want to.
Hopefully.
Well, okay, I will be.
It's a decision.
Well, you're right, and I made the decision to do that because I was reading beforehand, and I meant to have read the chapter before we got to the meeting, but I was trying to get caught up on other things, plus being at work, and then I wanted to work the exercises, but I'm getting that started that process. So, we're gonna really get into it, and like I said, I get something, hear something different from the other members. Hearing their perspective opens up a new gives me new ideas to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Thank you. Jim, you're up.
Oh, I can't add that much. It's just the repetition of attending. It just sinks better into your mind, and I just feel as though my future may depend upon it.
May.
Will.
It does.
I'm trying to coin the phrase for Back to the Future.
Oh, okay. Your latest fandom is Back to the Future, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have been for years.
Okay. I like it. I like it. All right. Well, this is wonderful. Thank you for sharing your sentiments with the group because that's what a mastermind does. It's like a like-minded community, people who are on the same trajectory, looking to help one another, support one another, and share new ideas and information. And Bob says it too. He says the repetition is so key because we go off, we read something or listen to something, and then our minds go off on a thought trip, and then it's still coming back, it's still going on, whatever it is that we're reading or listening to. Have you ever read a page and then you get to the bottom of it and you're like, what the heck was that? I don't even know. I'm like, dang it, I gotta go back. Right? So you do that and your mind goes on a thought trip and then you have to come back and then you're like, really? That was in this chapter? I had no idea. And then a new idea shows up. Sophie, I want to give you an opportunity to share what it is that you come back for time after time.
I sort of started my journey out of my survival mode by actually going through Born Rich with a mentor, and it just opened up so much stuff for me. And every time I go through it, it just different bits in each chapter resonate. So all the time I'm picking up new stuff, and yeah, to go through with you guys is just brilliant. So
yay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
yeah.
love it. Well, we're glad you're here too.
Thank you.
And you get to tell us what the next day is like. What's
Yes, very
Wednesday
nice.
like?
Yes, please, yeah.
You are a glimpse into the future. Right, Jim?
Yeah.
Back to the future. It's Sophie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So funny. I love it.
All right.
Thank you, Sophie.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome.
So I'm going to go. I have not done this in so long to go through the actual handbook that Bob created for us as consultants. I haven't done this in probably 10 iterations of going through this mastermind. So I thought I would go back to basics and this time around and really and go from the book. So on pages 3 and 4, Bob talks about certain things about wealth, right? He talks about the wealthy people. And so here are a couple of questions. Do you know people who are financially wealthy, but who are not living a quote, rich life? Does anybody have an example of that for us? People who are financially wealthy. Go ahead, Sarah.
I have a good friend that um they're they're pretty well off, and she is probably, I would say, 90% miserable. So
Mm-hmm. So is it the money then
no,
that buys happiness?
no.
No.
We're
No.
living on like probably a quarter of what they make, and we're happy.
And you're smiling and
Always.
healthy, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Pat. Oh, you're muted.
Hit the button. No, it was actually my dad's cousin, and he's very wealthy, and he passed away. But he would come to our family reunions, and he and his wife, you never knew that they came from that kind of money, and he created that money himself. But when he died a couple of years ago, they've added a new wing on in a hospital, and his foundation gave $43 million.
Wow.
I had no idea that much, but you would never know it. He was just as down to earth and as nice. He just both of them.
Hmm.
So
That's a
I'm
good.
glad to see. And they drove the same old car, kind of like Warren Buffett. They didn't move out of their house. They drive the same old car and everything. I think they were on the same plane. They probably were friends.
Yeah. All right. Right.
Yeah.
43 million is nothing to scoff at.
No.
That's wonderful. So, what do you think is missing or was missing from these people's lives who have the money but don't feel that fulfillment? Does anybody know?
Did they not let the money work for them?
Hmm, maybe.
You can make money grow by making it work for you, or you
Hmm.
can just spend it and it's gone.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sarah.
I think some people put too much emphasis on money instead of relationships. Like, I
Hmm.
think Bob Proctor says you're supposed to use money and
Love people.
love people. Yeah, I can't
Hmm.
get that off the top of my head, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people do it the wrong way round.
Hmm. Hmm. I have a good friend who became a multimillionaire, and they're they're not earning as much as they used to, and so they feel like they're at a deficit, even though they have way more money than so many other people. And so it's also that law of relativity, don't you think? That we're like, ooh, I used to be making this much, and now it's only this much, and I don't know. They live like a poor person, and they don't need to, believe me. Their mindset is poor, right? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Anybody else have a comment about that one? Why do you think, or what do you think is missing from the people's lives who have all the money but not any of the happiness?
I don't think they know what they want.
Ah.
If we know what we want, we're willing to work for it and do whatever it takes to get it.
Hmm.
Maybe it came easily to them. I know the men in this book, I don't think it came easily. They had to work for it.
Hmm. Hmm.
We're taught how to earn it, but not how to keep it.
Hmm. Hmm. That's good. And what do you think that we can do to ensure that we don't fall into the same trap? What if
Have
when we get all this money, how do we stay happy? Sarah Fernandez.
I think we will because we are in this group. It will not happen to us that way. Um, but I think, I was just watching The Secret just before this. I was feeling a little bit, and you and I lost my train of thought. So, so when we understand the laws, when we understand, and like Pat says, when we know what we want and we have a goal we are creating, I think that most people's problem is that when they get to that amount of money, or when they get there, they're like, we're not going to breathe anymore, because if we breathe, some of it might go away. What will become of us, you know? So fear is a big one for people, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think too, once they get it, they have to shift gears and look at it differently. And if they
Ye-
just stick where they're at, they're just going to backslide.
Yes, but they're probably unconscious,
Unconscious
achieve.
competence.
Hmm.
Yes, unconscious
Mm-hmm.
competence. And so they don't realize, they don't know how that happened. They're afraid it'll go away and that they won't be able to do it again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably, right? And so I think that's my godfather. He inherited all his money. They are four kids. They have hills, mountains. They get €250,000 per year, or no, not per year, but per 5 years, I want to say, just from those lands that have trees on them. And they are the most miserable people that I know.
Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
And they work and they have other things, but just from that alone, like if they didn't want to do anything else, that would be enough. But they have so much more, and they're just so miserable.
Yeah.
It's I don't understand it. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
much happier and I don't have anything. Like I'm miserable, but not in the same way as them.
Sarah, you're richer than they are.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
not just in money, but
Yeah,
well, oh well, not yet.
you're richer in here.
Yeah, I'm not richer in money yet.
Yeah, you will be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
you bet it's happening. So
That's right.
yeah, so I think fear, people, yeah, yeah, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Bob talked about that. He said until he understood really the law of vibration and the law of cause and effect, that he was afraid that the money wasn't going to continue to come in. He's like, "Ooh, I hit it big. Okay, now, like you said, don't breathe."
Hmm.
That's how he felt until he understood the laws. And the laws said, stay up here on that vibration of abundance, and more abundance shall flow in, right? And there you go. So I think you're right, Sarah. At some point, there are unconscious competence where they know how to get the money, but they don't understand. And this is something I think that everybody needs to hear, is that abundance of all things is the same vibration. We give it different meaning according to what slot it resides in. So whether it's health or wealth or happiness, we think, oh, health is so easy. It's just, you just have to do this and that and the other thing, and it just flows right in. And someone else says, "Oh, wealth is so easy. You just do this, that, and the other thing, and money flows in. Happiness is easy. You just do this, that, and the other thing, and happiness flows in." But then you ask that person about wealth, and they're like, I don't have any idea how to earn money. It's the same thing. And that's what Bob is teaching us throughout this entire book. Energy is energy. We give it meaning,
Yeah.
right? So as you're reading through not only just this first chapter, but the entire book, make sure that you focus on you and your thoughts and your energy. Yes, we imagine different scenarios or people as examples of things, but really think about how you can apply what Bob is telling us to you and your situation, and bring in more of that good energy into your life. Um, Bob says, what someone else has or does not have is not going to affect you, and it is your financial situation that you want to improve. And I'm going to take the word financial, just you could say energetic position, situation that you want to improve. Because when you improve one area of your life and understand that it was by law, you can you can start applying that to the other areas of your life. Health, wealth, happiness, all of it. Okay. Um, Page 5, money is important. We have to remember that. So what are some sayings, like money doesn't grow on trees, things like that we grew up believing, even though they're they're not true for everyone, which means guess what? They're not true. If something is not true for everyone, it is not true. Did you know that? It's not a principle. The only thing that is true are these laws, these principles, how the world works. Everything else is only true because we deem it to be true for ourselves. And if we can do that about the things that we think are true, we can take the truth away from those and put it on something else. We can decide what's true for us. So what are some paradigms, some money sayings that we grew up with? You can just blurt them out if you want.
Money isn't everything.
Money isn't everything.
The
Okay.
one you said, Dylan, when it comes to my mind, money
Money
doesn't.
doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were poor, but we didn't know it because everybody else was in the same boat.
Yeah. You didn't have that comparisonitis going on, huh?
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, money's the root of all evil.
Ah,
Good one.
dirty money.
Dirty money, yeah.
Yep.
If you like money too much, you're treating it as an idol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Be satisfied with what you've got.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I had
Mhm.
that one a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But work really, really hard for it.
Yeah, money's really hard to come by, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Save, save, save.
Yeah. Oh, my mom lived as a pauper. She really did. She didn't buy clothes for herself. She bought gifts for everybody else, but she didn't buy herself anything. And she left us a lot of money. She could have bought some clothes. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't take it with you. It is really nice to be able to leave a legacy. I mean, I am very appreciative of that. But at the same time, she came from the generation that Bob came from. They are actually contemporaries, and they were born within a year of one another. And so she grew up during World War II, and she grew up during, well, actually grew up during the Depression. And like Bob says, everybody was poor back then.
Yeah.
Everybody was poor back then, right? My grandmother sold rags. I mean, that's how poor they were. But so her concept of money, even though she had it in later in life, she still felt like she had to hold on to it.
But her mindset was still that she was so poor.
Mhm.
It's like if people lose a lot of weight, even though they get thin, they still have this fat thought in their head that, I'm fat. I'm even thin.
Mhm. Yep.
You have to change that mindset.
Yep, exactly. Which is a perfect segue, Pat, into, oh, Sarah,
That's
do you
what
want to
I'm
tell
really
us what
pleased
that is?
about. Yeah.
You want to tell
That's
us
what I
about
did my
psychotherapy?
speech on Saturday at my Toastmasters.
Oh, you did? Oh, good for you.
Yes, everybody should read Psycho-Cybernetics.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's
We'd
phenomenal.
understand why we think that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Which leads us into what a paradigm is, right? A paradigm is a multitude of habits, and a habit is an idea that is fixed in a person's subconscious mind that causes them to do something without any conscious thought. So, how do you brush your teeth? It's probably the same way every single day, right? A paradigm is what causes our habitual behavior. Many times we do things we do not want to do, get the results we do not want, but do it anyway. This is because of the paradigm in our subconscious mind that is controlling our actions or behavior. So we can use Pat's example of someone who was overweight and they lost a lot of weight, but then they still see themselves as overweight. They still have that same paradigm about themselves. And so, one, they never feel satisfied with what they look like. And two, they have this idea, your subconscious mind is programmed to find whatever you lose. And so when a person doesn't shift their mindset and they lose a lot of weight, their subconscious mind is like, where's the weight? We got to go put it on. So they start eating again. And
Yeah.
get how many people have we ever heard of saying, "Ah, I lost all the weight and I gained that back and plus some and then this," and then they just yo-yo, right? It's because they don't shift their mind first. Huh. Someone should make a course called Mind First. Isn't that interesting? But
I took a class from Rita Black, and it was like a weight reduction, right? And she said, we don't say we're going to lose weight, because if you lose your car keys, you go looking for them.
mhm.
You're going to release it, which
Yep,
means it's not coming back. And I
that's
thought,
what,
that's attitude right there.
yeah, that's what Bob says too.
Yeah.
That's what Bob says too. Release the weight.
Yeah.
Goodbye. I'm not finding you. I'm not picking you up again. Bye-bye. So for a person to experience permanent change in their personal and professional lives, there must be a change in the primary cause of their results. A common error is trying to change the results before or by changing your behavior. So, yes, behavior causes results, but it's the secondary cause. The first cause is the thought and is the programming in the subconscious mind. So, when a person tries to change something simply by changing their behavior, the change is generally temporary. Although behavior causes results, it's secondary. The primary cause is the paradigm. And when you begin to change the paradigm, you begin to change the results you're getting in your life, right? So this is what Bob is trying to teach us throughout this book. Everyone needs money, right? No, but you can't go through this. That's just the exchange for goods and services. We need to be able to get our food, get our gas, get our whatever. We need money for that. And so everybody needs money. Now, the question becomes, how comfortable are we with money? A good indication of a person's comfort level with money is how much money they earn. So Bob used to say, tell me how much money the most money you've ever earned in a year. And the person tells him, and he says, this tells me two things. It tells me, one, their paradigm as to how much money they believe they can earn, and two, their paradigm about service. Isn't that interesting? What they think about service, because service equals more payment. When we give, we receive. It's one of the laws, the law of cause and effect and the law of compensation. So when Bob says, tell me how much money you've earned, and you say a certain number, say you say $50,000 a year, right? Bob would say, well, then you provide $50,000 worth of service each year.
Yeah.
So if you want more money, guess what? Provide more service. That's it. And here's the beautiful thing about it is you don't have to think so much about how am I going to get paid for that service. You just have to think about giving the service, and the law takes care of the getting. Can you take that off your plate just for a second and just imagine how that feels? Does that feel better, or do you not believe me? What do you guys think? Especially in this whole entrepreneurial world, right? We're like, ooh, how am I going to get more money? How am I going to get more money? And that's our first thought. But if we
Thinking, what
replace
can I
that,
give for this money?
well, yeah, the more that you get, the more that you can give, and then the more you receive, so you can give more and more and more. It's a beautiful, huge cycle, isn't it?
But I think it starts with our giving, not receiving, but giving.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to earn 10,000 extra dollars a month or something, what would be the first thought that comes to your mind, Pat?
New clients,
Mm-hmm.
effort.
Effort.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of effort?
contacting people that you think might be interested, doing
Mhm.
a workshop, do my weekly Facebook lives.
So what is that doing for the other people?
I think it's helping them realize that they're not the only ones that are in that situation. Because I'll read like out of Chicken Soup for the Soul, but like around Mother's Day, I'll pick a story that's about mothers, but then I always give them a little spiel at the end and I give them a call to action.
Mhm.
But something that they can relate to.
Do you feel like that's providing service?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't get paid for all of your service.
Oh, you do. You just don't get paid in the same
Oh,
from the same exact
yeah.
transaction.
Yeah. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Believe me, you get paid because here's a case in point. I moved to a different barn, right? And I said, "Oh, I'll take care of your horse." I said that to a bunch of people, and I took care of a bunch of horses.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get paid for a year or more.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, people are going, "This chick shows up for my horses, and I really appreciate her." And well, I got a horse out of the deal. I got someone's one of the ones is she goes, "I have to pay financial penance." So she's financially penancing. And then another is I got another client out of it. And so actually two clients out of that exchange. And they saw how I showed up serving and they thought, "Huh, this person's for real."
Yeah.
And when they thought, "I need this help," who did they think of first? Right? So it shows up. It definitely does. The key is our being consistently putting it out there and showing up for us and serving. Yeah. So what are some other thoughts? If you want $10,000 more a month coming in, what else could you do? What do you think of first?
Give more.
Give more.
There's you have to give something to get something.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it works. And so you want more money, you give more value, you give more value. And it doesn't mean that it's going to come from that specific thing, but the more you give, you know you're going to get because it's the law, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. And what about the energy that you have in the giving? Does that make a difference?
Of course.
Mm.
That is key.
Yeah. So it's not like, "Ooh, this is going to turn into a client." It's, what can I give to you today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. You guys are so good. So here's a great, great quote that Bob uses inside of this chapter. People don't feel comfortable with money because they have it. They have it because they feel comfortable with it.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah. And that kind of goes with Sarah saying you need to give something before you can get something, right? So what you're feeling is, the comfort of having the money shows up before the actual money comes in. When you know that saying, if you love them, let them go,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're willing to let go. And that's letting go and letting God. You value this human being more than you have to keep them in your clutches, right? You value them as a human, you value them as someone you love more than you need to just be next to them this whole time, right? And so do you see my hands clenching? When you feel like you have to hold on to something, so many times we feel like we have to hold on to money, we are tightening that grip too much and we're not letting the flow happen. So if we want money, we have to feel comfortable, one, with the idea of money, two, imagine ourselves with money, three, enjoy money coming in, four, trust the law that this is how it works. And then, as Thomas Troward says, you're touching lightly and you're just throwing energy out there and receiving energy back. Money's energy. That's all it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all it is. And this is where Sarah was talking, money is the servant and you are the master, right? And you want to make sure that you love people and use money and don't switch that around. And I'm going to leave us on this last idea, and this is page 7. Money must circulate.
Yeah.
It has to. It's energy. So money is most valuable when it's being used. And Bob shares an example of the loose change in the silver beer stein, right? He said, when it's sitting there on the shelf, it's just sitting there doing nothing. It may as well be a book on the shelf. It may as well be, a piece of art on the wall. It's doing nothing. But as soon as he gave it to one of his kids or one of his nephews and they exchanged it for golf lessons or something else, it started circulating and things started to happen. But sitting on the shelf, it doesn't just magically turn into a golf lesson. It doesn't do it that way. We have to take it and we have to give it away. Do something with it, right? So do you have an example of something like that? Once you are like, oh, I'm going to hold on to this money and I'm going to stuff it under my mattress, kind of like Mr. Chapman did and my mom did. I'm going to squirrel this away. Or do you have an example of, you know what? It's time to spend this money. It's time to use this money. It's time to put this into circulation. Did you notice a shift? Go ahead, Sophie.
When I was living back in England, up near where my parents lived, there was this old guy. He looked like a tramp. And I was working in the supermarket, and he would always be in at that time when they reduced all the meat and everything, the meat, the bread. Yeah. When he died, he had millions, but he was living like a tramp and not spending money. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My grandfather was that same way. He wore bib overalls. He was a multimillionaire, but you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
Looked like he just come in out of the field.
Well, and there's nothing to say that you have to look the part, but at the same time, so many people like that hold back in fear that they're going to waste it or it'll never come back or, something along those lines. Squander.
He was 12 when he came from Sweden with his uncles, and his sister was 9. And the money that he had, he buried it. And when he went to dig it up, it was all moldy, and the bank almost didn't give him exchange it. It was in that bad a shape. But they were so fearful because they were so poor in Sweden and so many kids, they couldn't feed them all. That's why the kids went to the States. That fear of not having it. I think if they're afraid to let go of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then if they can see it, they have control.
Yeah.
Right. And the opposite of fear is faith. And we can only have faith when we study and understand more and grow our knowledge and realize that there are these principles that we can depend on, that the more you give, the more you get, the more you give, so you can give or get, so you can give more, right? And so we circulate this whole energy, and money is a part of that. All right. Well, this is a great, great first chapter, and really only a piece of it is about money. The rest of it is about mindset and actually the energy that you have. And so really think about it, really, really spend time thinking about your paradigms and one of paradigms aren't always super obvious to us because we're used to them. So notice when maybe you're going through the grocery store and you're like, I'm not going to get that thing. I'm going to get this thing because it's cheaper. Or, those types of things that indicate, do I like the cheaper one better, or am I doing this because I don't feel like I have enough? Or what is the reason behind the cheaper? Or what is the reason behind the more expensive? So think about those, just notice those paradigms that pop up, because when we feel like we're going to the gas pump and we're like, oh my God, it costs this much, that means that we have a money paradigm. It does.
Mhm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yep. Thank God you got the money to pay for it.
Yeah. Exactly. All right, everybody. We will see you next week on chapter 2, How Much is Enough? That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. And have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Take care.